All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom to the elect, those that are fighting to endure to the end, and that are calling on the true names of the Father, in the name of the only begotten Son, and all truth and sincerity, which are Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father, meaning He is, and Yahweh Shai, which is the name of His only begotten Son, meaning He is our salvation. Those are who the world ignorantly call both God and Jesus, all right? And today, we're going to talk about the New World Order beast system, all right? The New World Order and its beast system, because whether you know it or not, it's being set up right before your very own eyes, all right? They have what you call smart cities or 15-minute cities incorporated in between or in those smart cities, all right? Where it's made to what? Where everything is made to be comfortable and at your convenience, okay? And the only way you're going to be able to participate in these smart cities / 15-minute cities is if you've been chipped, all right? And they're going to know who's been chipped and who hasn't, all right? Because it's going to be a totalitarian system, all right, where everything is being monitored and tracked digitally, all right? And how are they going to track you digitally? Because you're going to have to take that digital all right, that RFID microchip. And unless you have it, you won't be part of this society, all right? You won't be able to buy, you won't be able to sell, you won't be able to come and go as you please, you won't be able to do anything, all right? And this is the system that they're putting into place that people refer to as the New World Order or the beast system, all right? Now, there was a book called George Orwell, 1984, where it spoke of a dystopian place similar to what we're coming into right now, all right? Now, when you go into that word dystopian, let's look that up. Because this beast system, this New World Order, is set up to be, on the surface, a utopia. But when you look underneath it, you begin to see how dystopian it is, okay? So let's look up that 1984 George Orwell. This is an overview of 1984. 1984 is a dystopian novel by George Orwell, published in 1949, that serves as a warning against totalitarianism, mass surveillance, and the manipulation of truth. Well, guess what? This is all going to be incorporated in this New World Order, all right? Because they're going to distort or cover up which is the truth, all right? You see? And the people, for a lack of bread, for a lack of, bread, a lack of water, a lack of necessities, are going to believe the lies, man, all right? They're going to believe the lies because what else do they have, all right? They don't have the truth, because when the truth was readily available to them, they turned their nose up at it, all right? So now what? The Most High is going to give them over to that strong delusion that they should believe a lie, all right? And in this New World Order / beast system, that's all it is a big lie, all right? Covered up. Well, at that point in time, they're not going to have to cover it up, all right? Because it's going to be known, all right? We are in complete control. We control what's coming in the cities, what's going out of the cities. We control every aspect of your life, all right? At that point in time, they're not going to have to cover it up. They're going to just come out forthright and say, you are under now the New World Order. Now, they might not use the words New World Order, but guess what? You're going to get the picture nevertheless. So it goes on to read, 1984 George Orwell novel says the story follows Winston Smith, a member of the ruling party and the super state of Oceania. All right. What's that ruling party represented by? These elites. Okay. These oligarchies. All right. They're the ones that's going to be behind this New World Order beast system. Okay. They're going to be the ones that's behind it, that's saying in order for you to get and live and receive my benefits, you're going to have to become my what? My slaves, or what the small hats call goyim, which is cattle. All right. Because that's how they look at us, as nothing more than cattle. All right. Something that they can profit off of. Okay. Something that they can herd and tell where to go. All right. It says, who rebels against the oppressive regime by seeking individuality and truth, leading to a forbidden affair and eventual capture and torture by the thought police. Guess what? They're going to be able to read your thoughts in this new world order, this totalitarian system, okay? They're going to be able to read your thoughts. They're going to know, because that's what it was all about in Minority Report. All right, if you saw Minority Report with Tom Cruise, you know they predicated crimes on a person's thoughts, okay? What they were likely to do. And then they will arrest them before then. Well, how would they know that unless they was tracking their inner thoughts, all right? This is when you have the advent of Neuralink, Synchron, and many more like it, okay? When you take that chip and it's inside your forehead, it's going to be able to read your inner monologue, your thoughts. Whether you take it out of necessity, whether you take it to receive upgrade, so to speak. Once that was born lame, they can now walk with the miracle of this microchip in the forehead. However you take it, they're going to be able to read your thoughts. And then based on those thoughts, they're going to be able to incriminate you, okay? So what else does this book says? 1984 novel, George Orwell. It says, and tortured by the thought police. The novel explores themes of psychological manipulation, the destruction of critical thinking through propaganda and newspeak, and the ultimate triumph of the party power over the individual. Right. So if you don't think that this beast system is set up to rule over you and their new world order, then hey, you need to check your temperature, man, because this is where it's leading to. All right. This is where it's leading to. Even in a small town like this right here, they're going to have ramifications of implementing the beast system or not being able to receive government handouts or government supplements or whatever else that's funded by the government or the state or these oligarchies, these higher ups, okay? Because a town like this, albeit small, it really can't survive on its own, okay? What is it going to do? All right. Now, you may have pockets of small towns and even what you would call doomsday preppers that are off the grid, per se. But how long would that last? All right. How long is that going to last? Eventually, they're going to run out of food. Eventually, they're going to need Medicare. And they're going to have to run to these smart cities / 15-minute cities to get what? The necessities, the Medicare, the hospital help, the food, because they're going to be in small towns like this that try to go off the grid, and in doomsday prepper towns or whatever, the little pockets scattered throughout the country, and even the world for that matter, all right? You're gonna have your so-called resistance, those that don't want to live on the grid, those that have been prepping for this time, this moment. So they got, you know, a farm where they grow in plants and vegetables, and they got what else? They got a limited supply of medicine and Medicare treatment. But guess what? Eventually, it's going to run out. All right? Eventually, things expire. Okay? And then what happens after that? Where are they going to get their next fill or their next fix? they're going to have to come to these smart cities, all right, these 15-minute cities. And when they come in, they must bear the mark of the beast, which is what? The RFID microchip, in order to buy and sell. All right, so however it may look, they come in, take the chip, bring back the food or whatever. The thing of it is, you won't be able to go about without being chipped, all right? And this is the totalitarian system that they're setting up that we're speaking on today, okay? So let's go to Ezekiel 3:18, and let's open up with a warning. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, and verse 18. Because as men of the Lord, we're compelled to warn you and tell you of these things. All right? Whether you believe it or not. This is Ezekiel 3:18. It reads, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity. But his blood will I require at thy hand. So see, as being men of the Lord, as being imparted with his wisdom, we're given the task to go out and speak to the people of our nation and tell them to repent. All right, because why? A sword is being furbished, okay? Now we know the ultimate sword that's being furbished is those thermonuclear missiles that's coming to cleanse this whole land, which we know as America. But leading up into that, the sword, meaning Esau, Edom, is going to cut loose on a lot of our people as well, because they're setting the stage right now to blame everything on Jake. All right, we got a sample of it with the Northern Kingdom. What did they say? The Northern Kingdom was primarily the reason for mass individuals losing their jobs, immigration, ICE coming in, hauling them off. And now what is it being said about the Southern Kingdom? The crime, okay? Here it is, Trump is getting ready to dispatch the National Guard down to Chicago, Baltimore, and other cities where it's prevalent between what? You Israelites, all right? And guess what? Those other nations that surrounding these cities, they're all for it, man. All right, and they're going to be with it when all hell breaks loose, to know that, hey, it's because of y'all we have to have this totalitarian system now. And they're going to come after Jake, man. All right, those are the number one target is those of us that are in the truth. But by proxy, just being an Israelite, you're going to be scooped up too. All right, and brought to these detention centers and brought to these FEMA camps, okay, where you're going to be what? Given the option to either take the chip or, for most, be beheaded, okay? So we here in the time to tell you to get right. So let's read it again, Ezekiel 3:18. It reads, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die. Right, there's going to be mass casualties through this process of bringing in the New World Order and setting it up. A lot of people are going to die, as we're going to read in Ezekiel the 7th chapter, okay? It says, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. See, this word is meant to warn the people, and for our people, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, to turn and repent. All right, because the Lord is bound by his word. All right, he's going to send forth this great multitude of kindling that's going to rule over us. But guess what? If you repent and get right with the Lord, he's going to make a way. All right, he's going to make a way for you to what? To eat in that time, to receive salvation, ultimately when the missiles come, and to what? To call on his name. All right, you got to have the name. There's no excuse why you shouldn't know the name Yahweh and his only begotten son Yahushua. All right, we're in the end time of this man rulership, and the Lord will not hang us out to dry without giving us a way or a path back to him through his only begotten son, and his name isn't Jesus Christ. All right, his name is not Jesus Christ. Call on that name in that day and see whether or not you be delivered or you be saved. Okay, so it says, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning. See? So we're giving warning because we don't want your blood on our hands, man. All right? It says, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way. That's what we're telling you right now. All right? Your wicked ways is what's going to condemn you. All right? Your wicked ways is what's going to be the reason you giving over to this great burning, giving over to this multiple kindle. Well, we're going to get it 2 Ezra 16. But your wicked ways is why you're going to be given over to the sword. All right? It says, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity. So the wicked man, he's going to die in his iniquity. But there's something for you for having this truth and not preaching. It says what? But his blood will I require at thy hand. See, this is why it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the true and living power, man. Because he can jack you up in ways you can't even imagine, man. Here it is, you received this truth, you ate the roll, you understood the precepts, the prophecies, but you didn't want to go out. You didn't want to make videos. You didn't want to warn the people of what's to come. So now the people are going to be dealt with, and you as well for not telling them, all right? And we're here to tell you that that new world order, that beast system, will be implemented soon, and it's coming to a city near you, all right? And if you live in a town, or if you one of those doomsday preppers that think you're going to go off the map and you ain't going to have to worry about, bowing the knee to Baal, think again, all right? Think again. This man was given the blessing of the sword, man. He has ways of touching you that you don't even know. He can send what they call weather manipulation, all right? Just look what happened to Asheville, North Carolina, okay? A lot of those people off there lived up in the mountains, man. But guess what? Hey, Esau got to him, but ultimately it was Yahweh using Esau, his sword, to get to them. It's going to be the same thing, all right? When all hell breaks loose and these prepper communities are set up in their own little towns outside of these smart cities, these 15-minute cities, thinking that they can withstand this beast system, they gonna bend the knee. Because it's but only so long you can take having a large community that's dependent on not just the natural resources, but medicine, okay? You're going to have to bend the knee one way or another and come get that chip, all right? And Esau Edom is betting on that, all right? He's betting that what? We're going to wait them out. We're going to send a famine, small towns, preppers, whatever, where won't be no food coming into that place, won't be no medicine coming into that place. We shut down the hospitals. We shut down everything in the town and herd them like cattle to this particular position or place known as these smart cities in these 15-minute cities where they can receive medical attention. Because you got to remember, in this time, just having a bottle of shampoo, just having water, is going to be more valuable than gold, man. All right? Because what are you going to do with gold and silver? If you don't have food to eat, if you don't have water to drink, if you don't have a shelter to sleep in, what good is having gold and silver? Nothing. That's why they're going to come take that chip, man. All right? Because gold and silver ain't going to be worth nothing in this new system. All right? The currency is going to be what? Your digital all right? That RFID microchip. That's why it says the Medes shall not regard gold nor silver. All right? Hey, keep all your gold and silver you want. Go into a store with an ounce of gold and a gram of silver and try to buy. Try to buy a loaf of bread with a gram of silver and see what the cash register are the what do you call those things? Those self-checkout kiosks. See if they take that slither of silver. Hell no, man. All right? You won't even probably more than likely be able to go into a store unless you've been chipped. All right? Because we're going to look up a smart city. A smart city is a city that's advanced in technology. All right? That's another way of saying that everything you're going to be doing is going to be tracked by what? Some form of surveillance, okay? Now we know we got CCTV, which is closed circuit television, but they're going to have all type of robots. Because, hey, I seen this one little clip. I don't know if it was in China or not. It might have been in China, where this guy was on his moped, and all of a sudden, down the street, come a robot man. You see those little unitary robots? The little unitary robot was walking like this to the man, and the man freaked out, got off his motorcycle and jumped off. Well, guess what? Alongside that Kindle, that burning multitude, you're gonna have robot dogs. You're gonna have drones in the sky. It's gonna be a surveillance. Hey, the city gonna be completely locked down, and unless you got that chip, good luck trying to get and come in and leave and go in these cities, man. You're gonna be met with force at what? At the gate or at the entry of these cities, okay? You can't come in unless you've been chipped. Now, the vision that I had, I was able to see into this a little bit, but nevertheless, I was able to ascertain or deduce that this was indeed a true totalitarian system, all right? Where you had somebody walking on the side of you, you know, accompanying your every step, making sure you walk in the right path. And if not, they was there to what? Correct you, man. All right, that's that charagma. All right, it's watching your every path, your every move. And unless you have it, you won't be able to buy or sell. We're gonna get that, Revelation 13 and 16. So let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7. And the point starts at verse 15. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 15. It reads, "The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him." See? So they got everything wrapped up just the way they want it, okay? They're gonna herd you like cattle into these smart cities, these 15-minute cities. Because why? That's where safety's gonna be. That's where what they call sanctuary is gonna be, all right, inside these cities, okay? And unless you've been chipped and marked, you won't have access to these cities. You have to go outside in these towns, in these rural areas. And good luck, because the sword is furbished. Hey, you're gonna have marauders out there raiding houses, raiding businesses and everything else, okay? So if you don't get right with the Lord, he got a judgment prepared just for you. Now let's read this Ezekiel 7:15. Let's read it in an alternate translation. All right, give me 1 second to pull this up, because it hits a little bit different in a different translation. This is Ezekiel 7 and 15. And let's go to the BBE, the Basic Bible in English. Give me 1 second to pull it up. Ezekiel 7 and 15. This is Ezekiel 7 and 15. The NLT, it says, "The war outside the city and disease and famine within. Those outside the city walls will be killed by enemy swords." So if you outside of the city wall, you have a likely chance of being taken down by one of these enemies. That's the selling point. There's safety here. Come to one of our smart cities, our 15-minute cities. Not only do we offer your food, your shelter, your raiment, your entertainment, but we also offer security and peace from the outside world, man. And what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do not having a hedge around you? Because why? You didn't take heed to the prophets, the servants of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You're gonna sit to go outside in one of these towns one of these cities outside of the smart city where there's protection from, and get what? Slaughtered. All right? Get taken down. And we telling you it's as serious as a heart attack, man. Get right with the Lord before it's too late. Because suddenly ain't gonna be no warnings out here, and it's gonna be go time. Everything that you heard and you scoffed and you turned your nose up at gonna become a reality. All right? So it says, the NLT, there is war outside the city, and disease and famine within. So even within some of these towns and cities, they're gonna have diseases and famine, which is gonna be all the more reason why individuals that don't have faith are gonna wanna take the mark of the beast and run into these sanctuary cities, or 15-minute cities, or even known as smart cities. It says, those outside the city walls will be killed by enemy swords. Hey, you're gonna have individuals clicking up in that day, trying to see if they can get what you call a lick. All right? Those that being quote unquote prepping, those that being quote unquote preparing, those are gonna be the #1 targets, alongside a lot of you women that say, I don't need a man, I'm independent. Okay, we gonna see. This is why a lot of y'all gonna run down and get that safety. All right? That's why it says, Isaiah 31, woe to them that go down to Egypt. Okay? Why? Because they are on horses. See, you're gonna think that these smart cities, these 15-minute cities, are there to protect you from the outside, where it couldn't be further from the truth. It's gonna be more dangerous in these smart cities than it will be outside. Because why? At least outside, you stand a chance. But inside these smart cities, you're gonna be completely told what to do, how to do, when to do, and where to do it, okay? And if not, you buck up against them, they're gonna throw your ass into prison, okay? Remember, they're gonna be able to read your thoughts with these devices like Synchron and Neuralink got, all right? So there's no running from this. You can't run from this quote-unquote New World Order, these systems. It's being set up right before our very own eyes. It says, those outside the city walls will be killed by enemy swords. Those inside the city will die of famine and disease. So it's gonna seem like the only reasonable solution is go down and get chipped. Let's read that in Isaiah 31. And then we'll come back. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 31. And let's read it, okay? Because you going into these smart cities, that's gonna be the worst move you can do, man. This is Isaiah 31:1. It reads, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. See? So you're going to be given over to this cruel Lord, and you're going to be given into these smart cities for what? Your destruction. Because another thing that I saw in the video, and I said it in the lesson that I did the other day, was that the people that were walking around in these smart cities, they didn't look happy. They looked like they've been trodden on. Okay? Like we just hear, we made a mistake. But by that time, it's going to be too late. You are the property of that city, that town, that elite. All right? Once you come in and you take their all, that digital all, that microchip, you belong to them. You've given them consent. All right? Once you consent, that means you give over your rights. I consented to this. I'm okay with it. Hey, and then once you consent to taking that chip, they can do whatever they want. They can cut your chip off. If you want to start a riot, they can even shut it down, where I believe it may have such a profound impact that it can cause you to have a cardiac arrest or some type of incident, okay? Because we don't know what the body is going to do once they introduce this foreign object, okay? Once they introduce this foreign object, we don't know how the body is going to react. Now, it does say in Revelation that those that receive this chip, this microchip, they're going to receive a sword at the site where they was given that at. Let's go there. This is Revelation 16. This is Revelation 16 and verse 8. It says, and the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun. Give me 1 second. Revelation I'm looking for where it says anointium. Anointium. Here it is, Revelation 16 and 2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. So it's safe to say you're going to be affected some way, shape, or form by when you take this mark. You're going to have a boil or cancer or something that's going to react to your body chemical makeups that's not going to sit right with this foreign object, okay? And if you take that, good luck with trying to find peace, all right? Because it's going to plague your mind. You're going to have a what? It says, give me anything but plague of the heart. Your mind is going to be plagued with this. This is going to control your thoughts, man, all right? Your inner monologue will no longer be yours. This one of the lessons that I did a few weeks back said that this company was able to give a person who couldn't speak over 10,000 words. Now, if you got 10,000 words in your vocabulary because you took this beast system, this mark, how you think you're gonna call on the names in that time? If this man can put words into your thoughts, he can pretty much distort your ability to call on Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Because why? 10,000 words, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, 5 words is going to get lost in that, okay? So good luck trying to find Yahweh when you take this mark, all right? He ain't going to be able, he's not going to be anywhere to be found, all right? So back to Isaiah 31, because the stage is being set for you to come down to Egypt and receive this help. All right, the stage is being set. So this is Isaiah 31 and 1. Woe to them, or destruction to them that go down to Egypt for help. See, this is where they want you. This is where they're herding you to. Come down to these smart cities. Come down to these 15-minute cities. We got everything. We got entertainment, we got food, we got clothes, we got shopping malls, we got everything that you can need to escape from the outside world, all right? But there is a catch. In order for you to receive these benefits, you must be chipped, all right? And to a lot, that's going to sound like heaven sent in a world filled of chaos, all right? Because why? You ain't gonna have no idea of what's going on. You lost, okay? You turned your nose up at the servants, the prophets, man. So now guess what? Isaiah 24, there should be a what? A crying for wine in the streets. This is Isaiah 24 in verse 11. Isaiah 24 and 11. It says, there is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. See? So there's going to be a crying for wine of why of what's going on is going on. Why is there so much crime outside in these cities, these towns? See, that's going to be the deception that's going to lead people to come into these protective cities, these smart cities. Because why? Outside of these cities, they're going to have a lack of bread, a lack of essentials, and that's going to cause whatever that's left to be what? A fight over. Neighbors going to be going after neighbors, brother after brother. When you starve off a town, a city, a place, and it has only a certain amount of food or resources, that what? That promotes chaos, okay? And that's exactly what they want. They want chaos. They need chaos, all right? They need chaos to be, what's the word I'm looking for? They need chaos to be justified in bringing in this system, all right? This new world order, this beast system. If everything is going as according to this plan, there's no need for the people to come want this system. There's no need for the people to come want this mark. So with chaos, now guess what? You're gonna run to them. You're gonna run down and get this the mark. All right? Because now, even if you don't live in these smart cities, you can come in there and shop. Even though you might not live in these smart cities, you may live in a rural town or a country town, sort of like where I'm at right now. If you got the mark, guess what? You could come into a smart city for what? Entertainment, for whatever purposes. Because why? You've been chipped. Now they say, okay, we know who this person is. We know whether or not this person is clear. If they have the proper credentials. We know whether or not this person has a disease or some type of pessimism. All right? But coming in there without being chipped ain't gonna be a smart move, man. You're gonna be met with resistance, okay? So, hey, this new world order is gonna be something else. It's gonna be totalitarian, all right? Now let's look up a 15-minute city. Let's look up what a 15-minute city is, so we can understand a little bit more about this new world order. Give me 1 second to pull it up. 15-minute city. All right, I got a 15-minute smart city. It says a 15-minute smart city integrates the urban planning concept of the 15-minute city with smart city technologies, aiming for residents to access essential services like work, shopping, and healthcare within a short walk or bike ride by incorporating digital infrastructures. So these 15-minute cities / smart cities are going to be set up digitally. All right. Now we know the mark of the beast is spearheaded by that RFID microchip. Okay. It says this human-centric model, championed by urban planner Carlos Moreno, fosters sustainability and community by reducing car dependency. In the vision that I had and the little bit I was able to see, I didn't see any cars in there. I just saw people walking. There were no cars in that vision. It says promoting active travel. Right. Guess what? How are you going to travel from one smart city to the next smart city? All right. It's going to be through the way of whatever transportation that is set up by that government or system. It says, in improving quality life through strategic placement of amenities and efficient digital services. 1984 George Orwell novel. Okay, all right. This is the totalitarian system that's being put in place. The New World Order beast system. Okay, and we're here to tell you, man. All right, we're here to tell you while you still got time to what? Repent. All right, turn back. Okay, because eventually this is gonna come to pass. All right, and they're working on it right now. Now it's said that that thing that happened in California earlier this year, all those fires was making room for the Olympics in 2028, which is going to house a smart city. Look into it. Okay, they saying the reason why all those fires happened in California is because they had to force the people out. All right, in order to what? Build that smart city, man. All right, a lot of these towns, they just gonna transition over to the mark of the beast. All right, they're not gonna do the upgrades. Okay, they're just gonna have it where whatever they got. Like in this little small town right here, you got a library, you got a few stores, and a couple of restaurants. Well, say for instance, somebody when it comes to this small town just for historical references and sentimental values or whatever. They ain't coming to the restaurants that's here, the libraries, and whatever else, unless they being chipped, okay? Even a small town like this will be under the foot of the beast system, the totalitarian system. They will have to transition over to that digital system, all right? But it's just going to be in these smart cities that's where the entertainment's going to be. That's where a lot of your shopping is going to happen and everything else, okay? Business as usual, all right? And we know, hey, for the most part, the women, they like to shop, man. Women like to shop. They're gonna be the number one, target for this beast system, man. They want to work, they want to be independent. You know, some of them may wake up out of it, all right? Speaking of our people, the women of our people, some of them may wake up out of it. Others, they're going to take it and then what? Get destroyed and what? The thermonuclear missiles, okay? So let's jump over to Revelation 13. This is Revelation 13 and 16. We're going to start at 11. Revelation 13 and 11. It reads, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So see, they're going to try to sell this system as it being utopia. But underneath that is going to be what? Dystopian or dystopian. It says he spake as a dragon. When you go into that word dragon, it's dracon. All right? This New World Order are going to have draconian laws where you can't get Medicare attention unless you got the chip. Where you can't get food unless you got a chip. They got stuff on the books right now setting the stage for when this happens. All right? They're saying right now they're getting rid of the homelessness, okay? Now, what are people gonna go at that don't got nowhere to sleep? They gotta come and get help. They can't stay out on the streets, or what? Are they gonna be carted off and taken to a prison? Okay? So guess what? You can't be homeless, all right? You can't be in these cities without your proper identification. Are you gonna be looked at as what? An illegal, undocumented immigrant, all right? They're not just using this whole ICE thing just to go after the Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters. they're using that to set the stage for when people don't get chipped. They're gonna be looked at and fall under the auspice of what? Undocumented illegal immigrant. And you're gonna be what? Carted away and tossed in some detention center. Okay? That's just what we're going at with it. All right? That's just where we're going at with it. That's why we need this word, man. That's why we need this truth. Okay? So that the Lord can guide us in that time. All right? So that the Lord can be our light. All right? Because we're going to be on the run, man. We're going to be moving from one town to the next. Okay? The Lord going to bring us food like he did with Elijah, the raven. Hey, we ain't going to have to bend the knee to Baal, man. The Lord going to send ravens. He may send a chariot to prepare you and to keep you, spiritually going. So it's going to be a beautiful thing to see these miracles happen, man, and not having to bow the knee. A lot of brothers are waiting for that moment, man, to go off grid, to be moving from one place to the next, to see miracles to be performed. All of a sudden, you got a full course meal sitting right there by the side of you. You didn't have to get chipped, but it comes with faith. It comes with believing, all right? It comes with taking heed to the warnings, all right? And we're giving our people all the warnings that they need right now in order to receive that salvation, because the hour of temptation is fastly approaching. So it says, Revelation 13 and 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. What is this beast? America, NATO, and EU. It's Rome all over again, okay? In simple terms, it's the Edomites. It says, and he had two horns like a lamb. Those two horns is democracy, Republican and Democrat. They work in the same side, all right? They just here to give you, the unlearned consumer, idea or an illusion of having a choice. But they all working for the same side. And he spake as a dragon. Go into that word dragon in the Greek is dragon, where you get the word draconian from. Verse 12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast, right, which was the ancient Romans, the Edomites. Before him, it caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Right. Through Renaissance, he came back into power by doing a lot of what? Iconoclasm, whitewashing, but ultimately, when he dropped that atomic bomb, all right? That was his introduction back into the world as a global power, okay? It says, and he doeth great wonders. This is the one that I was referring to. So that he make a fire, that's that atomic bomb, come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of man. So when all the other nations saw that atomic bomb, I believe it was Fat Boy Little Man, get dropped on Hiroshima, that put fear in their hearts, man. Okay, but the Lord gave that devil that technology to fulfill the prophecy. It says, verse 14, and deceive them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they shall make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. So now he's back in these days to make this image, this system, this new world order to be implemented throughout the whole earth. To what? Pay homage to the beast that was wounded, but now is healed which is the Edomites coming back into power. It says, verse 15, Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast shall be killed. So guess what? A lot of you brothers, including myself, could very well fulfill this prophecy if we don't bow the knee. As it says in Revelation 20 and 4, I saw those that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and some of you sisters too, and your children as well, man. All right? If you don't take this mark, this charagma, you very well could be put on a chopping block and a guillotine and have your head beheaded, man. But guess what? We got to stay faithful until the end if we are the elect. It says, verse 16, and he, who is the he? Esau Edom, the so-called self-proclaimed white man. And he causes all. This is that New World Order, that beast system, that totalitarian. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. See, everyone's gonna have to get this, okay? No matter what's your class, no matter if you are multi-millionaire athlete or you a 9-to-5 working Joe, you're gonna have to get this beast system. You're gonna have to take this mark, all right? It says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. What else? And that no man might buy or sell. This is the New World Order they setting up right now. And that no man might buy or sell. This is that totalitarian. This is that dracon, that dragon. And no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So good luck, all right? Good luck with trying to be part of society without taking this mark. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen unless you get marked. You won't be able to partake in these activities of this man's kingdom, of his grid, of his New World Order. Now check this out. Let's go to Revelation 3 and 10. Revelation 3 and verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience. See? We open up with Ezekiel 3 and 18. Give them warning. Those that keep the word in patience took the warning. So what's going to happen to them? Let's read it. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. What is the hour of temptation? When this microchip is made mandatory. It says, which shall come upon all the world. This is the New World Order. This is the beast system, all right? This is what we're reading right now, real time. Which shall come upon all the world, the New World Order, the beast system. What is it going to do? To try them that dwell upon the earth. It's coming to try you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Those that claim to believe. All right? You're going to be put to the test, man. All that, God knows my heart, Jesus, okay, we going to see. The test is coming. Is Jesus the way to salvation? call on that name and see if you receive salvation. You ain't, all right? It's coming to try the whole world. Your Christian pastors is going to more than likely tell you to take the RFID microchip and be destroyed. They set up. They're hirelings. You see? Let's go to the Apocrypha. This is the Apocrypha, which can be found in the 1611 King James Bible. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 16 and 68. 67. This is the book of 2nd Ezra 16 and 67. It reads, "Behold, the Most High himself is the judge. Fear." See, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of true and living power. So it says what? Fear him. Don't fear man. A lot of you going to take that chip because you fear that you're going to be put down if you don't take it. You're going to feel like if you don't take that microchip, you won't have any food to eat. But see, we're telling you to fear the Lord. It says, what else? Leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with. All right? So it says to meddle no more with them forever. Put off the ways of this world, man. It's only going to lead you down a rabbit hole to what? Destruction. Don't meddle in them no more. We got the truth right here. This is the only salvation. It says what else? And they shall take away. Wait, we're jumping the gun. 2nd Ezra 16 and 67. Behold, the Most High himself is the judge. Fear him. Leave off from your sins and forget them forever. So shall the Most High lead you forth and deliver you from all troubles. Revelation 3 and 10. Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah 30 and 7. The New World Order. The beast system. Verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. This is the depression. This is the oppression that Yahushua warned us back. That Yahushua warned us about. When you see the abomination of desolation, this is that great burning multitude kindled over you. Let them that be in Judea flee into the mountains. That abomination desolation is coming again in the form of this totalitarian system, whether you believe it or not. It says, verse 68, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. The abomination of desolation, when you see it, let those that take heed go into the mountains. Yahushua warned them about that back in 70 AD. It says, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle. Why? What's idle? Staying still. You got no job. You got no house. You're idle. Well, guess what? They're going to offer you the mark of the beast. So now you can be part of the society. Now you can eat. It says, and feed you, being idle with things offer unto idols. They're going to offer you that mark of the beast. They're going to say, well, in order for you to get food, in order for you to participate in the amenities, the entertainment, sport venues, whatever, you got to take this idol. You got to take this charagma, this mark, all right? And then when you take it, that's it. There's no coming back. Revelation 14, verse 9. The same shall drink of the cup of the indignation. So it says, verse 69. 2 Ezra 16 and 69. Pay very close attention. And they that consent, that's the key word, consent. You're going to, on your own accord, take this. You're not going to have to put a gun to your head and say, take this. The stage is going to be set in such a way that you're going to willingly come take it. What's going to happen? And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision. Right. You're gonna be made mockery of, you're gonna be ridiculed, and everything else. It says, and in reproach and trodden underfoot. This is the New World Order. Those oligarchs, those oligarchians, those elites, we got us some. They're gonna be laughing. They're gonna be ridiculing you. You're gonna be trodden underfoot. Ultimately, the Lord gonna mark you. Proverbs 1 and 26. I will mark at your calamities. And we gonna be marking at you. Because we're gonna say, we told you. Get right while you had a chance. Verse 70. For there shall be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. See? Who are what? The Israelites. All right? They're going to, and that time, we're going to see how many of y'all going to be wearing y'all fringes. That's what IUIC loves to say, wear your fringes. Well, in this time, we're going to see. All right? I just did a video. It's useless to debate a dumb Christian, man. All right? When you had IUIC going back and forth with this damn Christian, man, the so-called Christian, didn't know a damn thing, man, and he wouldn't be sincere and honest about it, and it didn't make no sense. So it says, verse 70, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So guess what? In that day, we're going to see how popular it is to be an Israelite. We're going to see whether or not you want to wear your fringes, your border of blue. All right? We're going to see. See, that's why Yahushua told us to be what? Wise as serpents and harmless as doves, man. All right? We got to continue to move in the spirit. All right? So it says, verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Verse 73, 2 Ezra 16 and 73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen. It says, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. So this hour of temptation is coming upon the whole earth to try everyone, including the elect. But the only thing that separates the elect of Israel from the rest of Israel is that we got the Lord, Yahweh, through his only begotten son, Yahushua, on our side, man. We're not going to have to bend the knee to buy out and take his digital all or his RFID microchip. Right? So once the New World Order is fully implemented, the beast system is running and going, it's gonna be known who is his. He's gonna be taken care of. Isaiah 65:13. My servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. My servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. My servant shall be gloried, and you shall be ashamed. It's gonna be known. Matthew 6, and what is that? 33. Let's get that and then we'll close out. This is Matthew 6. We ain't worried about it. It's out of our control. There's nothing we can do except for believe and have faith. There's nothing we can do, all right, except for continue to do the work. We can't speed prophecy up. We can't stop it from coming. And it's here. And hey, just get right, get ready. This is Matthew 6. And 31. Matthew 6:31. It reads, therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? So when it comes, don't worry about all that. The Lord got us. The Lord got you if you're doing right by him. It says, verse 32, for after all these things do the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knoweth that you have need of all these things. See, we good, man. If our name is written in the book, we good. But we can't live like we good, and we got to still move with that level of humility, because we don't know if our name is written in the book. We believe, but we got to endure and finish our course, as Paul said. Verse 63. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. So, hey, worry about what's going on right now. Don't try to plan way down the line. That's what these damn preppers are gonna mess up at. They prepping. Oh yeah, I got a 25-gallon bucket that's gonna last me for 25 years. Next thing you know, you get off and you don't even get to see any of that. And it's given over to somebody else, man. So take no thought of tomorrow. Today is sufficient in the evils thereof, man. All right? So the New World Order, the beast system, hey, it's being put into place. The infrastructure, the digital infrastructure is getting ready to be introduced to the world on a global scale. And unless you get branded or marked and take that charagma, you're not going to be able to participate in it. All right? So with that, we're going to end on that note and turn and face the east. And give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah. Right? Shalom to the elect, and to the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.